I had $1 left. One. The last reminder that I'd once been someone. I remember standing in front of a cracked mirror in my tiny apartment, walls peeling, air thick with regret, and staring at that green piece of paper like it was some kind of cosmic joke. A year ago I had a job, a car, a fiancé, plans. Now, just $1 and a phone with a broken screen. Everyone had left. My friends stopped answering. Even my own father told me, maybe it's time you give up. Give up? No. I wasn't built to surrender. That night I couldn't sleep. I opened my phone, scrolling through videos about success, money, crypto. All those people claiming they turned nothing into millions. I laughed at first. It all felt fake. But then one video hit different. The guy said, "The only difference between you and me is that I started when I had nothing." That line burned through me like fire. Because I had nothing. So maybe it was my turn to start. I used my last dollar to buy a cheap coffee at a 24-hour diner. Not for the caffeine, for Wi-Fi. And there, at 3:17 a.m. under the dim yellow lights, I made a decision. I would turn $1 into $1 million. No sponsors. No rich parents. No shortcuts. Just grit. I started learning everything. How markets move, what Bitcoin really is, how fear and greed shape the charts. I devoured tutorials, forums, even old Reddit threads buried deep under internet dust. Days blurred into nights. I forgot what weekends were. All I had was focus and hunger. At first, I traded fake accounts, practice only. Lost fake money, earned fake money, learned real lessons. Then I found a way to get $10 in crypto bonuses from a sign-up link. That was my real start. $10, digital, fragile, but mine. Every cent mattered. Every decision could end me or build me. And when I turned that $10 into $100, I didn't celebrate. I stared at the screen, hands shaking, heart pounding, realizing I wasn't broke anymore. Not in my head. Because I finally had something worth more than money, momentum. At first, everything looked like a dream. My $10 turned into $100. $100 into $500. Everyone felt like the world was finally apologizing for all the pain it gave me. I stopped eating instant noodles and started ordering real food. I told myself, this is it. I've cracked the code. But success, it has a way of whispering lies. One night I saw a coin pumping like crazy. Everyone on Twitter was screaming, "It's the next Bitcoin." I felt that familiar rush, greed disguised as opportunity. I threw everything I had into it. Within 2 hours it doubled. I smiled. Within 3 hours it crashed. Art. I watched my $4,000 turn into $700 in minutes. It felt like someone punched a hole through my chest. For days I couldn't eat, couldn't think, couldn't even open my trading app without shaking. It wasn't just the money, it was hope that got stolen again. But when you've hit rock bottom once, you learn something important. Pain doesn't scare you anymore. Wasting it does. So I started over. This time, no hype, no FOMO, no shortcuts. I treated trading like war, strategy, patience, discipline. I wrote every mistake in a notebook. Don't trade what you don't understand. Fear is better than greed. If it feels easy, it's a trap. Months passed. The profits grew slow, steady, quiet. $700 became $2,000. $2,000 became $10,000. And with each small win, I felt myself rebuild, not just my wallet but my character. Still, something was missing. I wasn't content with just surviving. I wanted to win. So I started studying whales, the big players. The ones who didn't talk, didn't post memes, didn't chase trends. They moved markets in silence. I learned to read their footprints, wallet flows, volume shifts, order books. It was like decoding the ocean currents of greed. One day I noticed something strange. A massive wallet was slowly accumulating a forgotten coin. No hype, no posts, just silent buying. I followed quietly. Put in $5,000. Waited. For weeks, nothing. Then one morning I woke up to chaos. That coin exploded. Up 500%. My $5,000 was now $25,000. I didn't scream. Didn't tell anyone. I just stared at the screen and whispered, "I'm getting closer." From that day everything changed. I wasn't just trading anymore, I was building something. A system. A method. A mindset. I reinvested, diversified, learned how to manage risk like a surgeon, one precise cut at a time. I built bots to analyze data, coded scripts that tracked patterns I couldn't see. I stopped chasing millions and focused on percentages. 1% a day. That was my goal. Because 1% compounded isn't small, it's destiny. People around me started noticing. "Bro, how are you doing this? I thought you were broke?" I just smiled and said, "Still am. Just differently." At night, I'd walk through the city streets, headphones and hoodie up, thinking about how ironic it all was. The same people who called me crazy now wanted tips. The same world that ignored me was now watching. But I didn't want fame. I wanted freedom. Then came the bear market. Crypto winter. Charts bleeding red, influencers disappearing like ghosts. Everyone was panicking. I didn't. Because for once, I wasn't afraid of losing. I'd already lost everything once before, and survived. While everyone was selling, I was buying. Not recklessly but strategically. The same coins that people dumped in fear, I collected in silence. And when the market finally turned green again, it was like the universe whispered, now. My $50,000 portfolio exploded past $300,000. Then $500,000. Then $800,000. And the number kept climbing. I remember the night I hit $1 million. The screen flashed 7 figures. But I didn't shout. Didn't dance. Didn't call anyone. I just sat there in that same small apartment now filled with the same old silence. And smiled. Because the money wasn't the victory. Becoming the man who could earn it, that was. I took a screenshot of the balance, closed my laptop and went outside. The city lights reflected on the wet pavement like stars I could finally touch. I looked up and whispered, $1 to $1 million. But it was never about the money. It was about proving myself right. When the whole world had written me off. When I hit that $1 million, I thought everything would change. But the truth is, nothing did. The same walls. The same chair. The same old cracked coffee mug. Except, this time I wasn't the same. For the first time in my life I felt quiet. Not the silence of failure, the silence of peace. Money didn't buy that. Pain did. Discipline did. The funny thing about success? It doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you're too busy chasing noise, you'll never hear it. After a few days, I transferred some of the money out just to touch it, to make it real. Then I closed my account again. Because the moment I saw 7 figures, I realized I didn't want to spend it. I wanted to build with it. So I started small. I rented a quiet office. 1 desk, 1 laptop, 1 whiteboard. I wrote 3 words on the wall. Discipline. Vision. Patience. Those weren't just words, they were scars. Each one earned in blood, fear, and sleepless nights. I didn't want to be another trader bragging about screenshots. I wanted to teach people what no one taught me. That money is just a test. And most people fail it. So I began mentoring a few kids online. Some were broke like I once was. Some were desperate. Some were arrogant. But all of them wanted the same thing, a shortcut. And I told every single one of them the same truth. If you're chasing money, you'll lose. But if you chase mastery, money will chase you. At first they didn't get it. They wanted signals, not principles. They wanted profit, not patience. But over time, a few of them started to change. They learned to sit still when the market screamed. They learned to wait. And that's when I knew they were ready. One night, one of them messaged me. I made $200 today. Not much, but it's the first time I felt in control. That message hit harder than my first $1 million. Because I realized something powerful. My greatest investment wasn't in crypto. It was in people. But the world doesn't stop testing you. A year later, the market crashed again. The same headlines. The same panic. Friends called me asking if I was selling. I said, no. I'm planting. They laughed. But I wasn't joking. Every crash is just a sale for the brave. And bravery isn't about luck, it's about preparation. So I doubled down. While fear ruled the streets, I built my foundation stronger. Bought a house for my mom. Set up a nonprofit that helps kids learn financial literacy for free. I didn't post it. Didn't brag. Because real wealth doesn't scream, it moves quietly. Now years later I still wake up before sunrise. Still make coffee in that same chipped mug. Still open the charts. Not for greed but for gratitude. Because every candle, every trade, every win and loss, they remind me of where I came from. Sometimes I think about that first dollar. That one piece of paper that started it all. It wasn't powerful because of its value. It was powerful because of what it represented, belief. $1 can become $1 million. But belief can turn nothing into anything. And if you ask me today, what's the secret? I'd say this. The real flex isn't turning $1 into $1 million. It's turning failure into fuel, doubt into drive, and pain into purpose. Because when you do that, you don't just win the market, you win yourself. I still remember the night I started this journey, hungry, broke, and lost. And now, standing at the top, I finally understand the truth. You never really escape the struggle. You just learn to carry it better. That's what makes a man rich. Not the numbers in his account, but the peace in his heart. So if you're watching this, sitting in that same dark room I once sat in, wondering if it's worth it, if your dream is too far, too late, too impossible, remember this. Everything you want is already inside you. You just have to start, even if it's with $1.